Hi and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, you will learn how to offset a clone animation trough others clones over time with MoreGraph. We will also try to explain you how it works and how you can customize it at your will. So, let's get started.
Okay, first we need to create the tall cube. Under the Object's Attributes tab, set its X size to 50, Y size to 200, and Z size to 50. To animate and twist this shape, we need more polygon resolution. We can do that by increasing the Y segments of the cube. To do so, set the Y segments up to 32. Next, we need to add a twist deformer. To make it work smoothly, we can match its size to the cube. To do so, under the Object Attributes, set the X, Y, and Z value as the cube, which are 50, 200, and 50. Now, drag the twist deformer under the cube, so the deformation can work. For this example, we're going to make a loop with the twist deformer. Make sure your time cursor is standing at the beginning of the timeline, at frame 0. Next, set the twist's angle value to 180, and set a keyframe. Control-click on the circle. Then move the cursor to the frame 20. Here you will set a new keyframe to -180. Now we need to adjust the loop. To do so, open the large timeline under Window, Timeline. Here, the trick is to copy the first keyframe, and paste it 20 frames later than the second one, at frame 40. More or less. To copy the first keyframe, select it, press Ctrl, and drag the copy to frame 40. That's it, the animation is done. But now we need to repeat the loop over and over again. To do so, come back on the timeline window. Select the twist object and go to the Attributes tab. Here you can change the repeat after, and repeat mode, to oscillate. This will let you decide how many repetitions the loop should play. Set both, after, and before, at 99 or even more if you want to. So now our loop is done. Take some time to increase the animation range to something like 250, so you can see the loop working. Okay, now we're ready to add a cloner. Go on and add one. Then put the cube under the cloner as a child. We will align the clones on the positive Z-axis for the purpose of this tutorial. Select the cloner, and under the Object tab, set the X, Y, and Z position to 0, 0, and 100. Also, increase the clone's number to 6 to make it longer. Now, if we play the animation, we notice that all clones are twisting together. At this point, it's perfectly normal. But this is not what we want. What we want, is to see each clones moving one after another with some kind of time delay between them. And to do so, we need to use a shader effector. You can find the shader effector under MoreGraph menu, Effector. Make sure you've selected the cloner before adding the shader effector. Otherwise, the effect won't be active and you will have to add it manually. As you can see, the effector has made some change to the look of our clones. This is normal and we need to remove them. Select the effector and look under its parameter tab. First, uncheck the scale box. Second, set the color mode to off. Our clones are now back to normal. Now we can start to set up the time offset between the first and the last clone of our row. To do so, set the time offset to 15 frames. After this, we would hope to see some change to our animation. But this is still not the case. The clones are still moving together. It's because the shader effector needs a texture to work with. Let's set it up right now. Under the Shading tab of the Shader effector, select a texture in Shader. For this trick, we need a gradient. And now the magic happens. The clones' animation are finally delayed over time. If we come back under the Shader effector properties, we can see that Cinema 4D reads the texture from one side to another. And because the color information is linear, the time delay over clones is smooth. To prove this understanding, let's set the gradient horizontally. You can see now that the clones are back moving together. It's because the information from left to right is the same. Because of the horizontal gradient, there's no more variation on vertical lines. You can also try with another texture like a noise. And as you see, the clones are now moving in a random way. You can even increase the time offset to add more effect to this randomness. I hope you see all possibilities of this technique. As you can customize the pattern of gradient or noise to create crazy visual effects. Let's set the texture back to gradient and the time offset to 15 frames, so we can go on. Now to illustrate the flexibility of this technique, let's add a few more clones row. For that, we need to add another cloner. Then, we can drag our original cloner within the new cloner. We want to add 6 more row along the negative x-axis. To do so, under the Object tab's cloner, set the x, y, and z position to -100, 0, and 0. You also need to change the cloner count to 6. We have now a nice square of crazy cloner animation delaying over time. Still, the new cubes are still looping only within their original row. While the effect is nice, this is not what we want. We need to see like there was only one cube leading all other clones. To change that, we only need to apply the same shader effector to the new cloner. Let's select the new cloner, and under its effector tab, drag the shader effector into the field. Done. Now it seems that the front cube is leading the dance. Well done.
This tutorial is now over. Thank you for following our ugly robotic voices at this point. I just want to say something for advanced user. This is not the only way to do this trick. For example, we could have used the cloner blend mode with a plain effector to switch twist state. I believe this could also be done with some espresso settings. But the advantage of this technique is that you can have any kind of complex animation under your clones. Plus the setup is quite easy. This is why I think it's the best way to do it if you don't need any more complex animation flow. Anyway, I hope it helps. Bye bye.